Hey guys and girls, how you going? Mark Hummer here, of course, and we're talking about photography products, and particularly today we're talking about audio for your video. Now, a lot of people like to do their video, they're YouTubing or they're streaming, Zooming, whatever they're doing, and they need good sound because, sound is so important in your video. Initially, people would think, oh, it's probably your camera gear or your lighting or composition. All these things are the most important elements. Well, they are as far as the video capture goes, but they're not as far as enjoyment of watching your video. So if you're going to have someone listen to your video, you need to have that as a pleasant, enjoyable experience. And to give you an idea of just how annoying bad audio can be, you remember if you were back in high school in the day, particularly for an old fogey like me, you'd remember blackboards. And very often the kids would play a prank and they'd go up to the blackboard and they'd scrape their fingernails down the blackboard. And it'd make this horrendous screeching sound. It was intolerable. And everybody get their attention and they'd be cringing and probably throw a duster or something at them to get them to stop it. It was a funny joke or prank at the time, but it illustrates how bad sound can be incredibly irritating and intolerable. And if your audio is anything like that, people are going to switch off watching you straight away. And that's the last thing you want. You put a lot of trouble into your content, the last thing you want to do is destroy it with bad audio. And bad audio can be as simple as just the volume is way too low, or the microphone is too far away from your mouth. It could be any wonder of little things, and I'm just going to give you a few little tips and tricks that can make audio a lot more successful. I'll start at a low budget offer, something that simply is just $75 to $80 for good quality sound and reliable, and then we'll go up to a $250 system using a receiver and transmitter, but on a budget. And then we'll go right up to the unit that I'm using right now, which is the Deity HD system, and it has a transmitter and receiver, and I'll talk you all through that later. But all my sound, or most of the sound, will come from this Deity system that I'm using, which is, this here is the transmitter, and on top of the camera there is a receiver unit which plugs straight into the mic jack on the camera and giving wonderful synchronized sound all the time. When I do have sound from another source, I'll have a little bar, a little comment that'll show you that we're actually using a different device and what device that is. So anyway, from right now I'm going to start off with the lower budget end that's all affordable for anyone. But don't think just because it's a cheaper budget item that it's not useful. Every part of this product lineup that I'll be showing you has a unique and very special skill set. And that means that even though something else may be a lot more expensive and more flash, that doesn't mean it applies to every use case scenario. There are some things that you just don't want big and professional because they're awkward and inconvenient. So we're going to start off with using the mobile phone, which is a device everybody has. Now, it's not important what brand it is, what model or make. It could be an Apple or it could be an Android or any system you've got, but all you really need is some sort of an input socket. And whatever it is, you can always get converters regardless of what type you have. But most conventional for any smart product, whether it be a phone, a laptop, computer, tablet, whatever, they often have what we call a TRS system. So here is a TRS, but for a smart device it has a specific connection for it to function. It has a TRRS. So there's an extra R in there. And what is that all about? Well, it just means tip, ring, and sleeve. Conventionally in microphones you just have the tip, ring and sleeve system, but you can buy converters to bring them over. So anyway, if you buy this SmartLav Plus by Rode, what happens here is it's a simple little microphone, little lavalier microphone you can pin onto your shirt or jacket, but it has the TRRS connection already with it. And for $80 roughly that it costs, it makes recording sound very simple. Just plug it into your phone or whatever device you have and bring up an app. Now, Rode here provide an app called the App Reporter. And the Rode Reporter is a simple app. If I just click onto that, it'll come up there and you can see. And here we have a sound system. Now I've got the microphone connected and you can see the little green bars going across here, illustrating that we have sound and volume connected. When I want to start it, you just press the big button in the middle. Couldn't be simpler than that, really, could it? And then you can see a time code going to show you that you're recording and how much time has been recorded. Now right now this is actually functional. I've got the microphone on, I have it connected to the device and I can see that it is recording. So what I'll do is I'll put up obviously the little beacon to show you that this is the sound coming from this unit. So I'll download this later and synchronize it in the sound to show you the quality and just how functional it can be. But how simple a system is that? That's wonderful. I mean, you don't have to buy a big expensive accessory because you've already bought that. Everybody's already got a mobile phone anyway, or you can borrow one from someone. And there's the sound time going. I'm going to stop talking now and just turn that off. So there we go, that was very easy, wasn't it? So I just disconnect that and make that all safe. And that was the first illustration that we're giving today, was using your mobile phone you already have and just buying an $80, say, microphone, the Smart Lav Plus from Rode. And it's a great little product. Very handy for when you're not wanting a lot of space in your camera bag to be taken up. You might be traveling and you just want to do a little bit of sound recording with your video and you don't want big elaborate gear with you. And so that little microphone, that little thing here, can just be put into a little sack, a little bag. I have little camera bags around, and just put in a tiny little sack, and you put it in your pocket or in your purse or bag or wallet or whatever you have, and that makes it very easy to carry around. The next level of thing we're going to be talking about to make everything useful, and that's just a little $15 adapter here. Now this is the TRS to TRRS adapter. So here's the TRRS unit that came with that microphone I was illustrating, and should you have only this microphone available, plug that converter in, and now you've got TRS, and you can use it in any sound recording device professionally, or your camera. So that little $15 connection, very inexpensive. You get it from eBay quite easily. Doesn't matter what brand. Rode do make one, and it's great. This was easy for me to purchase for $15, and I just happened to buy that one. But either way, that will convert it so you can use it on any device, whether it be your phone and or any other sound recording system. Makes that microphone purchase a lot more useful. The next level we're going to go up to here is what is most commonly known as a simple on-camera microphone. Now it doesn't matter what brand or type. This is an ME1 from Nikon. It's a great little unit, very portable and small. I'm using now a double foam pad over it just to stop the popping sounds and so on when I use this microphone. But it's a great little portable unit, just fits onto the hot shoe of your camera, and very simple to add. So what you do is, if I'm using this camera here as an illustration, you just slide it up here, plug it into your sound, and there you go, you've got sound of some sort at least with you anywhere you go. Now this is about a $150 microphone. You can buy any brand or any type. Rode make them as well, of course, and they're great little microphones to have around with you. But the problem with them is, I find, is that you really, if you have them on top of the camera, they're only effective if the camera is very, very close to your subject. So if you're within about a metre or two of your subject with a wide angle lens, yeah, sure, that works fine and it's useful. But if it's like 3 to 4 metres away, the sound quality is going to be atrocious because it just can't pick it up loud enough. And if you try and crank up the volume, then it gets all distorted and nasty. So as I say, everything has a function. If you're going to be very close in proximity, they're great. If you're going to mount them, say, on your desk here and have a stand and it's close to your face, that's going to work really good too. But 9 times out of 10, if you've got any distance at all, they're no use. And this is why these sort of radio signal systems are terrific, because I can be 100 metres away from the camera and still have excellent audio. So the next one from there, which everybody's familiar with, so I don't needn't go on too much about that, is this wonderful little system called the Rode To Go system. Now this is the Rode To Go Mark I model. The original came out. And what it is you have a receiver and a transmitter. And so this one here is the receiver, has the little like TV screen on it, and when you turn it on, if I hold it down long enough, it'll come up. There we go. You can see it's starting to fire up now, and it has little signals and information for all your recording, giving you sound levels and etc., and tells you things have synchronized. So if I turn this one on now as well and hold it down long enough, yes, you'll start seeing now that it's starting to get the sound levels come up, and it's registering on the little screen there, if you can see that from here. So the beauty of this system here, why would you want this one? This is because it's so light and portable. That's the beauty of it. So for $250 you get the transmitter and receiver. They have internal microphones in them, which is very awesome. So you can see here that it has a little circle, that is a microphone. So you can actually use this just by clipping it onto, for example, your shirt. And you could be here recording as I am right now, live. You can see the green line turning around, so you can see that the sound is recording. And this is now recording into that microphone, and you're getting good sound. And it's very light and portable. So you have one unit, this unit here you would have on top of the camera. Just put it into the hot shoe. So it's a little bit awkward with the angles that I'm always at, but there you go. See, you just slide it on there, and how beautiful is that? That's simple. Very modest, very compact, and doesn't cause any trouble. All you have to do now is plug into the sound, into the camera, and there you go, you've got sound going whenever you want it, and it's all fantastic. So that's a great system and working really well. It's lightweight and terrific. Where do I really like this system? Well, I'll tell you where I think this system is at its excellentest it's on these Ronins, because see how lightweight it is? It doesn't upset the balance. So if you're using a Ronin and you want to record sound and you want to mic someone up, whether you're using, and of course I would probably recommend here you use a lav mic rather than the on-board mic, because the on-board mic works, but then look what you've got to do. You've got to display the entire unit to everyone, and that's sort of a bit of a, you know, bit obvious and a bit gaudy, I think. So the trick I would like to use here is you simply plug a lav mic into the little transmitter. I'd put it into my pocket in there, tuck all your cables in so it's all out of the way and not a nuisance or a mess. Just make sure that definitely the face of it is pointing out to you, so it's pointing towards the camera. Clip your little microphone on, and please appreciate I'm trying to do everything upside down and backwards here, so I can't really see what the hell I'm doing. Here we go. So you've got that in there, and that could be a very modest and very convenient system to record sound on. Now, is it recording right now? Well, it's doing all the business, but it's not internally recording. It's not plugged into my main camera. So what I'm going to do, just so I can have everything functional here and have some sound recorded, I'm going to turn on this camera. And right now, yes, I can see it right now. You'll be able to see that the sound is being received and it's functional in the camera. So I've got some recording going on now. I'll use that sound that I'm getting from this microphone now and utilize that in a test sample. So I'll just keep talking, and the microphone's on with me right now, and I'm chatting away talking, and I'll be using this sound as a little test sample so you can get an idea how the Road to Go system sounds for you. So I think it's a great little system. As I say, everything has its purpose and course. Having a heavy professional unit on top of this would be a nightmare for balancing, because if you want to take it on or off or change your lens, it throws out your balance so much, because these items here are actually quite weighty and heavy. They're a metallic frame and there's a lot of components and batteries in them, and they do weigh quite a bit. So rather than have something like that up sitting up high and throwing my balance out, this beautiful little lightweight Rode system is absolutely perfect for something like a stabilizer, where you can be confident you're going to get sound. It's a wireless system, so you haven't got cables running from this to the subject. The subject's wired up discreetly, as you see me right now. You can just slip it in their pocket, or you can run it through the shirt and clip it on their belt, because it does have a little belt clip to make that convenient. And that's an awesome system. Let me also show you something else you can do with this, which I find fantastic. Just let me illustrate first that yes, it does have the little belt clip, so that you can clip that onto your belt buckle or pants or clothing of any sort. But another system they have, and I bought this as an accessory, I think it was something like $15, so it's pretty modest, is a little metallic clamp system. Now you say, oh, well, what's so great about that? Why would you need it? Well, I tell you what, let me just try and get that on. There we go, clips on here, so you get a little clip for the transmitter. And what you can do now is, let's say someone's wearing a dress or something like that and you want to be discreet. You see, you can clip it with a little magnet, and there it is there, and that's all you're seeing. Now, you wouldn't obviously have it right there. You might have the down lower where it's out of sight of the shot or behind them. But what it does now, it just enables you to have that discreetly put away anywhere on the clothing that you like. So I thought that was a clever little system, a sort of little magnetic clamp system, and just makes the whole unit a little bit more versatile in how you set it up. So there we go. I'm just going to remove that now. And this whole kit, the kit with the microphone, which you must purchase separately, it doesn't come with the Road to Go system. Just let me disconnect this now. I'll turn off the recording. There we go. Unplug the unit. I'll turn the camera off so I'm not just burning the battery for no good reason. And this whole system, they give you the cable, the receiver and transmitter. You purchase this separately, the microphone, and altogether it's, well, I would say less than $300. So that's actually pretty good value for what it is and how versatile. The sound quality is amazing. It is really good sound quality. And of course you get all that versatility, and the fact that it's discreet and lightweight. And again, when you're putting it in your camera bag, just how much do you think all this room takes? It doesn't take up any room at all. It's very modest indeed. So I'm really giving it a 10 thumbs up for just, simple to use. It synchronizes automatically. As soon as you turn them on, they're synchronized. You don't have to fiddle around and do a lot of programming. The only thing you've got to do is really set the camera volume correctly. So you want to make sure that your camera volume isn't up too high or down too low. Just make sure that those bars are reading well and it's in the right levels for your camera. That's the only real manual setup you have to do. And you saw the setup, we just clip it onto the hot shoe. There's not even any attachments or rigs you've got to buy to get it to fit in. So I love that system. I think it's a really good system. The sound quality is, I would give it about a 7 out of 10. I think I'm very happy with that. So that's the system that I'd really like to highly recommend for 90% of applications. This is actually a really good and useful system. and great value for money. So the Rode products, I have no issue with them. I think they're marvelous little products, but I've gone professionally with a different setup, and that's the next thing I'm going to be talking to you about now. So hey guys, here we are. We've got still using the Deity system now, but we're just not using the S mic, the shotgun mic. Now we're using the little lav mic, so it gives a good comparison with that Rode system, doesn't it? So we can compare the sound here and check it out. So I thought I would set that up. As you can see, I have the little box separately now. I'm not holding it in my hand. I'm going to clip this on my belt. It has that lovely little belt clip and satchel for it, which makes it easy to use. And of course you can see all the signal details inside that little window, and I know it's actually functioning and working. So let me just clip that on my belt and I'll illustrate that I'm doing that. There we are. I've got a bit of excess cabling here. I haven't been too fussy about keeping it tidy, but I'll just slip it through my pocket here just to keep it all together and so it doesn't catch on anything as I'm walking by. So if I just make that a quick little tidy, that's enough for this sort of a demonstration. I don't have to be too fussy, but I'll leave my shirt untucked just so you can actually see here the unit on my side and you know what I'm doing and what I'm using. So I'm just going to go for that little walk now. Excuse my back as I head towards that large tree again, and we'll see if we can, well, undoubtedly we're not going to block the signal, but what we'll do is we'll just check the difference in the microphones, and the difference between a shotgun microphone and a little lav mic should be, well, marginal difference. So behind the tree, as you can see, I've never stopped talking. I'm still telling you all about the microphone and its attributes, but I just want to block the signal just so you can see if it does hold up under duress. So again, here I am. It's the same unit, of course, recording, the same Deity system, so there'll be no difference in the signal strength or capabilities, but for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to go for that little 50-meter walk to the end of this little path, then spin around again and get line of sight. It's also a little interesting test for the camera too, just to see if it's going to gain my sight. Every time I come back, does it actually find my eye? Now the Nikon system's been greatly improved, and they keep giving us nice firmware updates, which is fantastic, but just how good it actually performs in any sort of adverse conditions, we'll see. We've got speckledy light here running through the trees. That could be a distraction, so we'll see how we go. But as I say, I'm heading towards you again now, as you can probably see me in camera now. Hope I'm not sounding too puffed. I've done this a few times now just to try and get all the factors right. There are some pleasant little distractions really. We've got the birds chirping. We've got the kids playing on the swings because I'm in a public park here. I'm not in the wilderness. It's a public park and a lot of domestic houses and cars and bikes going by, so might be some subtle noises, but that's fantastic to check out the sound and see just how well it's picking up me and not just everything else as well. So I've had a fun experience with this outside. It's been a nice little bit of exercise. I hope the sound quality is good for you and you're happy with how it's going. I know I'm happy with both units. As I say, they both have different applications. It's, you know, horses for different courses. When you want something light, quick and convenient, the Rode system is fantastic. You just got to be very careful about line of sight. With the Deity system, you don't have to worry about any of those sort of issues. The signal strength is always going to be massive, but what you just want to make sure is you pick your right microphone, position it well, check your volume levels because it is hot and it can very easily overblow the system, you know, like break up and get too loud. So rather than peaking out the system like that and make it sound a mess, check your volumes, use headphones. Let me just illustrate. You can see even out on site here in the park, I bring my headphones with me. These are a beautiful set of headphones actually. HD6 Mix from Sennheiser. Obviously a very good quality pair. I use them to check the sound all the time. So just plug them in to your camera while you're actually recording. Check the audio, make sure everything is correct and sounding good and clean and it's not too loud or too soft, and then you're right to go. But really, a set of headphones is also an essential bit of equipment. It doesn't have to be this particular pair. It can be any sort of little portable pair, but you just need to hear what you're doing rather than guessing what you're doing is right, because guessing usually ends up in a disaster. Knowing gives you confidence and you know you've done a valuable job and the client's going to be happy. Hey guys and girls, how you going? Mark Hummer here again. Now we're doing a second test. We did the Deity system originally, and now what we're doing is the Rode system, to be fair. So I'm not going to be discriminating against any product or brand. I have several different brands of equipment. I've got Rode, Sennheiser and Deity equipment, and I use them all and love them all. They're all very effective. But what we're doing now is you may see I'm set up now with the Rode system. Now it's a little bit lighter on the body and on the camera, and that's actually pretty awesome. I love that. If I'm using maybe my Ronin, the Steadicam arrangement, to have that tiny little unit, and I'll just illustrate how big it is. This here is the receiver, the transmitter, and the receiver is on the camera. The receiver is exactly the same size and weight as this, and they're very light and compact, and they just slide onto the hot shoe. And because they weigh so little and so tiny, they almost no issue with balance or inconvenience. Same with this. I'm showing you this. I had before, the Deity system was on a belt pack on the side of my body, and the cable was going through the shirt. Because this one is so small and light and so easy to fit, you can just, if you've got a pocket, you can just put it on the pocket, and that way inside the pocket I'm talking about, with a bit of the cable tucked in there, and it's quite discreet and secure, and it's really not a burden or an obstacle for the person. You're not fiddling and wiring up and down their shirt. You can just slip it into a pocket, should a pocket be available. So whether that's a shirt pocket or it's a jacket pocket or something like that, that's great. You can also slip it down the shirt, of course, and just tuck that little unit in the pocket. You don't even need to fasten it to a belt because it's small and unobtrusive. So as far as being very convenient, quick to pair up and operate, and light and comfortable, the Rode system is actually really awesome. So it's like horses for courses. Everything has its niche in the market. You want super professional quality, you want the ability to be able to record directly from the microphone on the body and double the recording on the receiver on the camera and import it straight into the camera if you wish, then the Deity system is the way to go for ultimate confidence and security. Even though the Go 2 version, this is the Rode Go 1, but the Rode Go 2 system does have a recording capability. But of course the problem with that is, of course, it records only into the receiver on the camera, and therefore if you've got a line of interruption in that wireless signal, you've lost the recording anyway. So what would be the point? So the only advantage I'm saying with the Deity is that it records internally into the unit direct from the mic. This one here I'm using really just as a wireless system. So having it in the pocket is very comfy. I'm using the Rode microphone this time, not the Deity microphone as before. This Rode system is not as hot as the Deity one is. That is loud. So because it's a bit softer, I've increased the volume in the camera. So in camera now, I've got it at level 10 out of 20 to make sure that there is sufficient volume. It is understandable. It's a smaller, lighter, weaker system, and the signal strength is lower. That's not in any way insulting the Rode system, it's just that's its application. So as long as you know where to make your settings and you do a sound check before you get going, you'll be right as rain. Of course, I brought my headphones with me to check the sound to make sure it was adequate. You may see this bit of sock material. I'm sorry, it's not very pretty, but it is a very gusty day, as you'll see from my hair blowing around. It's quite windy and gusty, and I was quite happy to do it in that environment because it gave me the opportunity to check to see just how the sound system will go on a gusty, windy day. And it's simple as a little dead cat or a little bit of sock material, just double-sided taped on. So as you can see here, I've only got a bit of double-sided tape there, and it just covers the head of the microphone, and that means that I'm pretty protected against the wind noise. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to go for that walk test again. I'll back up to the hut. I'll walk around that hut as a blocking device to see if it interferes with the radio signal. Remember, we're only using radio signal now. I'm not recording directly into a microphone, so we'll have to wait and see how that holds up. My tests at home have proven that it is very successful and does work, but I want to demonstrate and actually show you it does. So I'm going to go for this little backup test now, where I'm walking away from the unit. So in distance-wise, we're talking about, I would give it 10 meters to here, and it's probably about 15 to 20 meters around the building. It's not a lot of distance. I mean, these things will go 100 meters or more, I'm sure. But it's sufficient just to show you your average filming distance, what will you be doing. I mean, really, how many times do you film away from a subject 100 meters? Almost never. That's unheard of to do audio that far away. Usually you were pretty close, within 5 to 10 meters maximum. So I'll go for a walk around the building now. You'll see me disappear and come around the other side shortly. Completely the fast. I can actually almost see the camera through. I can see the camera through this glass house. And receiver to connect. I'm going to come around the. Now I've got the full building block. So little steps in the road. And on the stones you'll hear the gravel beneath my feet, no doubt, as I'm walking. Just coming up the steps, as you can see. I'll start off back at the building. As I'm reiterating, we're about, how far would I be now? I'm guessing 10 to 15 meters away from the camera. And now I just project forward and to see if the signal strength changes in any way, if it gets better or worse. I imagine it won't change, but I have to be saying something while I'm filming, don't I? So you can listen to the sound. But here we are. I've been filming, of course, today with the Nikon Z7 II and the 24 to 70 S lens, the 2.8 version. It's about 35 millimeters it's set at, and I've got a 4 stops ND filter on because it is actually a very direct sun bright day. So there are my settings. This Rode system, I'm very confident it's an excellent system too. It does work really well from all my tests and examples. I just wanted to say, of course, keep in mind that if you need something light, compact and quick to connect, the Rode system is excellent and cheap and great value for money. But if you need a professional quality gear that you can 100% rely on because you cannot afford to lose the sound, and imagine you're in a wedding or something, they don't want to get married again just because you've mucked up your sound system. That's where you want to rely on something like the Deity for sure. But other than that, they're both great. They both have their functionality. I know I'll definitely be using this nice tidy little package on my Ronin when I need sound for that because it won't upset the balance at all, and that'll be brilliant. Nice and easy to operate. Hey guys and girls, how you going? Mark Hummer here on site. We're at Queen's Park in Ipswich in Queensland, and today I'm just doing a little sound check with my new Deity microphone system. Now what I've got is I've got a lav mic on here. You can see it behind that little fuzzy sock that I put on just to protect it from wind. It's a little bit gusty today, so I thought I'd improvise, and a bit of double-sided tape and a bit of sock material, and that should cover it really nicely, and we shouldn't get any wind disturbance. So right now I'm actually recording on the BP TRX. That's a receiver, transmitter, excellent Deity option for sound. So we can do multiple functions. The function I got it today is with the lav mic, and I'm actually using the receiver itself on the camera, and then I'm using my transmitter. So just to show you here, I have the Deity system here. This is the HDTX. This is a inbuilt recorder and receiver and transmitter. And it's an excellent unit. I use it for the XLR input a lot of the time, and I use that for the point of the shotgun microphone that you'll often see me using in my videos. But today this little beauty here has got the lav mic, as you can see, plugged in. It's great because it's actually lockable. It has that little lockable thread to make sure that the microphone stays in, and it's always going to be secure. So I'm just going to put this back on my little belt to make sure that it's secured as I walk around. And we're going to do the walking test, because what I'm showing you here is I'm going to do a little bit of a distance test, a little bit of a blocking test. So you see this building behind me, I'm going to be walking around that, and what that's going to enable us to do is see if the signal gets interfered with any sort of a blockage, whether it be a building or an obstacle or what it may be. So I think the sound quality is pretty good. The windsock should help us a little bit with the interference and gusty winds, be able to see how it performs in real life scenario out here in the open. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go for a little walk around. I'm talking in a very calm and natural conversational voice, not projecting or very loud. The settings in the camera are interesting. See, what I've got the settings on the preamp in the camera down to level 4. Now it's 4 out of 20. I've chosen that because this thing is really hot. It's powerful, and it has a wonderful, powerful signal, and it also has a great receiving ability. So I've had to turn the volume in the preamp and the camera right down low so it wasn't peaking all the time. So let me go for that little wander around, and then we'll just see how it performs, okay? So I'm going to start walking backwards. You can see I'm in line of sight, and I'm starting to get some distance from the camera now. Now, of course, this is a radio transmitted signal. And at the same time as radio transmitting, I'm also very able to record internally. So I can record internally into this unit. That is using this microphone, which means because it's cabled to the actual receiver transmitter, it means that therefore I can never lose sound. So when I record it simultaneously, even if there was some wireless interference or some sort of a break in the signal because I was too far away or there was an obstacle, I've still got a backup of the sound recording in this unit directly from the microphone. So I know I can never lose audio. And that's really why I've invested in this Deity system. There are other companies that can do something similar. The Rode To Go 2 will also do something similar. But the issue I have with the Rode system is, of course, that it only records in the receiver on the camera. So if there is a transmission issue, you've lost that recording. Whereas here I'm recording directly from the microphone on me, therefore I know that the sound is always perfect and safe as long as that cable's attached to the unit. And with the locking clamps that this provides, yes, it always will be. So it just gives you that extra level of confidence. So what I'm going to do now is walk around the proximity of this building. I'm actually facing away from the camera now. The receiver is out of line of sight of the camera. Obviously this building is completely blocking the signal. So if there was just a line of sight issue, you'd certainly pick it up right now. I'm coming around the other side now. Now this is the full width of the building diagonally blocking the sound. Now I'm coming around, you see me appear around the steps. little railings and steps, and I'm preparing again. And I'm having no trouble at all with the unit. It's quite comfortable to wear, and I believe it hides pretty well, other than this little sock material which I've had to improvise with. So as you can see, I'm not facing the camera at all. I'm talking away from the camera. I've got the actual receiver transmitter unit as far away as possible from the camera. I'll just go for one more walk around so we can see if it's a fluke or not a fluke. But I'd say the distance would be, we're probably maxing about 20 meters away from the camera and the receiver unit on the camera. That was the BP TRX from Deity. It's TRX because it's both a transmitter and a receiver. So that's what those letters stand for. So here we are, we're walking back around again. I don't think we've lost anything in signal. I'm hoping the wind noise is controlled. But that was the quicker sample test that we've got. I'm going to do also another sample test as well. I'm just going to start walking a little bit closer to the camera, make sure it gets me in focus and can find me. I'm using face tracking at the moment on the Nikon Z7 II. So what we're looking at now is that was the outside sample testing with obstacles in the way and a little bit of wind noise potentially. And what I'll do, I'll also do a in-house in my home studio sample test as well with audio, and you'll be able to pick up and see if you notice any improvement or difference. But I think I've tried it myself privately. I found the test samples that I listened to were fantastic, and I was very impressed with the quality. So I'm hoping you are too. This is, again, I'll just emphasize, this is the Deity BP TRX, and of course its little transmitter unit here, which I'll just pull out of the sock. That's only there to put on your belt, and it's the Deity HD TX, and this is the transmitter. So mic, as you can see, goes in, and you can see it has a little gold ring where you can fasten it. It has XLR and TRS support, so you can use it with any sort of microphone setup you like. So I hope you've had some fun with that and it's been of some benefit to you.